Table Kitchen and Bar at Palouse Ridge Golf Club in Pullman. This is the Cougar Basketball Hour. Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar Basketball Hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics.
Nolan dish, Tomas to the basket, left-handed runner, he's got it. Cougs red hot out of the gate.
Now, alongside Washington State men's basketball coach David Riley, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Here we are back at the Table Kitchen and Bar. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. It is great to see everyone here tonight. No show last week because the team was heading up to Spokane to get ready for the Gonzaga game. But we are back here tonight and back here at our great spot here the rest of the way this season, the Table Kitchen and Bar, right here at the Palouse Ridge Golf Club. Chris King next to David Riley, our guests tonight. We've got Andre Rodriguez joining us. We've got Case Wynot stopping by. And as always, here with the coach of the Cougs, David Riley. Coach, do you want to go make a snowman after the show here tonight? We could play the back nine maybe. It would be pretty scenic. We got some snow finally.
It was an adventure getting here, to say the least. But no, it's good to have some snow in Pullman now.
And it's nice. Snow is wonderful. And I especially like it when the Cougs are at home. And there's 2 home games this week, so the opposing teams can figure out if they have to how to get here in snow.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much snow in Stockton and Moraga, so we'll get a welcome to Pullman from those guys.
That is for sure. Well, the games coming up this week, the final 2 home games of the season. Looking forward to seeing everyone at Beasley Coliseum. Pacific, the opponent, Wednesday night. That's a 6:30 tip-off. That means our coverage here on the Cougar Sports Network will start at 6. And then it is Senior Day Saturday. Adria, who is here tonight, one of those seniors that will be honored. 7 o'clock start time. St. Mary's, the opponent. So those 2 games at Beasley Coliseum. Looking forward to seeing everyone for those 2 matchups. And Coach, with that, it's going to be a stretch of 8 days between games. We're in the middle of that, or at least on the kind of tail end of it. How has it been? That last game was against Gonzaga last week. No game this weekend, and just kind of, I know all systems go towards gearing up for Pacific.
Yeah, it's been a good reset where we've had a chance to kind of evaluate what we need to do better and what's been going well. And I thought the guys really got after it today in practice, and we got a big 4-game stretch down here to finish conference play and then heading into the conference tournament. And I just think it's a really good time for us to really set focus and finish strong.
And we'll just do a quick recap of those games since we had our last edition of the Cougar Basketball Hour, starting with Oregon State. Some really strong stretches of that game against the Beavers, but Oregon State able to grab the momentum in the second half of that game. How do you look back on that matchup at Gill Coliseum?
Just tale of 2 halves. Like we had I think our guys did a really good job coming into that game and had good focus on the defensive side of the ball where we held them to a low number and we couldn't buy a bucket in the first half, but we came into halftime with, I don't know what it was, 10 point lead, and unfortunately they got going in the second half. And I thought it was just a good kind of reminder when you're playing at this level, you got to stick to the scout. You got to keep those guards or anyone out of rhythm. And they got going, the crowd got going, and unfortunately we couldn't finish that game out. But it's just a kind of a step where we got to start figuring out how to do this on the road a little bit better.
That next game, it was the last time the Cougs were at home against Santa Clara. The Broncos came to town in first place in the WCC. You mentioned it before, talking about Santa Clara, saying, hey, this is the opponent in the conference that might want to get out and run it as much as we do. We saw that. It was a high-scoring affair. Cougs put up a lot of points. It was a neck-and-neck matchup. They ultimately got just the slightest edge, 96-92. What gave them just that little bit of margin to get out of Pullman with a win?
Both teams kind of rely on creating easy baskets in transition and playing through the flow of the game. I think we have pretty similar offensive styles, and they got some easier transition buckets than we did. There was a few threes that we let them have in transition, a couple plays where they got some easy looks, and when you're playing a team of Santa Clara's caliber, they're going to have good players that have good games. I mean, Graves had a hell of a game, had 30 on us, was hitting really, really tough shots. We can weather that storm, though, if we do our job and limit their easy looks in transition, and that's the step we got to take if we want to beat those top 2 or 3 teams in conference.
And the Cougs have seen those teams quite a bit lately, so it goes from Santa Clara, then going up to play Gonzaga. Ended up being a tough one for Washington State. That's just one of those examples. You're going against Gonzaga. You're playing them at the Kennel. If you falter a little bit early, that they can really seize that momentum, and it seems like that's what the Bulldogs did.
Yeah, we didn't get off to the start we wanted, and I think a lot of that was us not playing as connected as we need to. When you're playing Gonzaga and you're playing at their place, it's easy to get distracted. They hit tough shots. They will make plays on defense. They're really good at disrupting you defensively, and I thought once a few things went wrong, we weren't able to stick to the game plan, and that's how it got away from us. And emotionally after that Oregon State game and the Santa Clara game, I think we just, for whatever reason, didn't have it, and it was a good time to have a bye, to do some soul searching, and I think the last few days we've gotten reset and kind of found our stride a little bit.
And with that, 4 more games left to go in the regular season before everyone in the conference heads down to Las Vegas, the site, the Orleans Arena, for the WCC tournament. A lot still to be sorted out there these last couple weeks as far as the seeding. It's that unique bracket where the higher up you finish in the standings, very much weighted in your favor with how much of a bye you get in the WCC tournament. So 2 games coming up this week, both at home, Pacific Wednesday night, Saturday against St. Mary's, and then going on the road, Loyola Marymount and Pepperdine for those final 2 regular season games. And no game on Saturday. What does a Saturday look like for the Cougar basketball program in February when there's no game?
Well, we had to make it a balance. Like, we got work to do, and our guys, we have a group that really buys into the work. They stay in the gym, and so we had a couple days where watch film, guys got after it in practice on Friday, and then we also had to balance that. We had some guys banged up, and given a couple days off to reset, getting 48 hours to mentally and physically kind of get their bodies right, get their minds right. And I thought they came into the day with a great mindset to get better. And man, they got after it today, and I think it's going to prepare us well for this home stretch.
How much do you balance that when you have this opportunity in February to have 8 days in between games? And it's been a journey, I'm sure, for you. You think back to the overseas trip over the summer, and that was a while ago, and you think back to some of those trips at the start of the year where, going to Bradley, going to Davidson, going to Maui maybe seems like yesterday in some ways, but it also seems like a long time ago. How do you balance the physical rest with the mental rest and getting the team all set for this final push?
Yeah, I think, it has been a season where we put a lot of miles on these guys, and I'm sure we're up there in the country as far as, going to North Carolina, to Maui, to Peoria, Illinois, and kind of going back and forth like that. We put some miles on these guys, and I think it's toughened them up and prepared them for this. But at the same time, you got to make sure that you're taking time to make sure you're playing at your best mentally and physically. And I think as a coaching staff, we definitely lean a little bit more on the work side, and from what I hear from some of the guys that transfer in, I think we do spend a little more time in the gym. We do put a little more work in than most teams, and I think our development shows that. But we got to balance that out, and we got a great strength coach, and Haley, our trainer, they do a good job of talking to me and our coaching staff about balancing that out.
That is the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, getting all caught up on the latest for the program here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. The Cougar Basketball Hour is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every coach's show this season right here tonight here at the Table Kitchen and Bar. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Well, still to come, we'll have Coach Riley on our next segment. We'll talk about our guests here tonight, Audrey Rodriguez and Case Wynot. And, of course, a little later on, we'll preview those 2 home games this week, Pacific on Wednesday, St. Mary's on Saturday. You're listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
This month, it's time to break up with boring and fall in love with winning. It's Northern Quest's $80,000 Heartbreaker giveaway. Use your Camus Rewards card for 1 free entry daily and play for even more. Plus, earn 4 times entries every Tuesday. Then, on February 26th, you could be chosen to break a heart that holds up to $40,000 in cash. So go from Heartbreaker to Moneymaker. The $80,000 Heartbreaker giveaway, only at Northern Quest.
Your audio home for all things Cougar athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today.
With the WSU debit card from Gisa, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So does the card support the Coug fan or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Gisa.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
At the table, kitchen, and bar at Palouse Ridge Golf Club. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. A reminder, single game tickets to WSU men's and women's basketball available right now at WSUCougars.com/ticks. Come experience all the action at Beasley Coliseum and cheer on the Cougs. On the men's side, as we said, those final two opportunities this week: Pacific on Wednesday, St. Mary's on Saturday. Get your tickets now at WSUCougars.com/TIX. And here we are, back here at the table, kitchen, and bar at the Palouse Ridge Golf Club, our club, with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, and we've got our guests to talk about here. We'll have you kind of give us our intro, set the stage. We got Audrey Rodriguez and Case Wynot joining us. We'll be with Case, second-year Coug from Lapway, the all-time leading scorer in the state of Idaho high school history with 2,962 points. How did he end up? Because you got the job at WSU, and then he was originally committed to Utah State. And how did everything all kind of come together for you to get him here as a Coug?
You know, it's one of those things where Case is someone that we had our eye on for a long time when I was at Eastern Washington, and I went to probably one of his low points in his high school career in his state championship game, I think his junior year. But we followed Case. He's always been someone that's really fit our style, and local kid that's had a heck of a career in high school, and really just my kind of guy as far as how he approaches the game. And like when the season ended last year, he had a freshman year that was up and down with some injuries and some time out, and when that season ended, I just kept on hearing like Case was at the rec center playing pickup. Case was in Lewiston playing pickup. Case was in this town playing pickup, and he's just in the gym finding different games to play and just a gym rat. And so I think it's just the kind of guy that loves the game and really great for our program.
Well, Case ended up having some tough luck this year on the injury front. How has that been adapting to not having Case available?
It's been tough. You know, he had a really good preseason for us. Was one of our more all-around players, someone that can, his reputation is as a shooter, but he's got a lot of physicality to his game. He can rebound, he can post up, he can really pass. There was a month stretch where I think he had our highest assisted turnover rate in practice. So, one of those guys that had a lot of experience that we were ready to rely on, and unfortunately we'll have to wait a year.
How is it for you, and you've had to deal with this plenty throughout your career, and I'm thinking of Cedric last year, and I'm sure it's a muscle that you have as a coach, you have to have. How do you keep guys keep their chin up? Because that's tough, because these guys are wired to be out there. They're wired to be making an impact. They've been the top dog probably wherever they've been throughout their entire careers, and this might be the first time that they've had it all come to a screeching halt temporarily, where they've been out for a significant amount of time. How's it been with Case and for other guys when they do get hurt of making sure they keep their spirits up during that?
Well, that's life. You gotta roll with the punches sometimes, and obviously he wants to be out there and playing, but there's a silver lining to everything where, you can find different ways to get better, find different things to improve on. And one thing that over the last couple of weeks is we've moved Case up the bench to start talking to our coaches and kind of talking to the guys a little bit. Like we were playing at USF. Barry Wang was torching us. He had a couple threes in the first half, and it got to halftime, and one of the coach's suggestions was that we switched Jerome onto Barry Wang and put a guard on him so he wasn't able to hurt us in the ball screens. We found out after the game that it was Case that had told one of the coaches that idea, and that kind of just worked its way up the line. And he's always in those guys' ears and does a really good job of just approaching the game from a really, really good mental standpoint. And at first, when he first got here, he was a little more interested in basketball than school, but we would he's done a really, really good job in school. I want to make that clear. But it was funny, like I would get the grade reports and not as great as they needed to be, but then we would be quizzing him on the terminology and the different concepts, and it was he was like Rain Man out there. He was getting it all right. It was perfect, and he's got a really, really good basketball IQ and has done a great job of just expanding that and learning how to talk to guys and approaching the game from that way.
Well, that's life, though. That's whether it's in the classroom or on the court. It's not everyone picks it up immediately, whatever it might be. But that's college. That's what college is, and then it starts to come around and it all clicks. Adria Rodriguez, our next guest. How has he been to coach and to have as part of the program this year?
It's been unbelievable to have him in the program, and it's a unique deal to have someone come in for their senior year and kind of have to adapt to the culture, to college, to the college game, to our system, and just a lot was thrown at him. And I think everyone can kind of see what he's able to do, especially this last month or so when he's gotten more comfortable, he's gotten more used to everything. And I think that's something that's not just a basketball adjustment; it's just a whole life adjustment. I don't know if anyone's ever moved to a different country or moved to a different city. Like those first few months are exhausting, and there's a lot that's thrown at you. And I think he's done a really good job of adapting to that and really impacting the game in a lot of ways for us.
You have an assistant coach, Pedro Garcia Rosado, who is from Spain. Probably don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to maybe make the connection. Was he the one who had Adria on his radar, and that's how he got on WSU's radar?
Yeah, I've been with Pedro ever since I got the head coaching job at Eastern Washington. So we've been together for a while now, and Audrey's our first Spaniard. And I always, Pedro's always made it really clear that he's not going to bring anyone in that's just a random Spaniard. He's going to try to find the right one. And so we were really excited when we got him out to Pullman, and Pedro is obviously a big part of that.
We'll talk with Adria about this, but the level that he was playing at before coming to WSU, so only getting that 1 year of college eligibility, how would you describe it to Coug fans of the level that he was playing at before coming here?
It's a really, really high level. So it's the second level of Spanish basketball, and when you look at European basketball, I think Spain is probably the best country, best league there is in Europe. And that's the ACB, and so he was playing in Leb Gold, which is right under that, and it's comparable to like the top level in Germany and some of these other countries, and it's a really tactical league where you have to be able to think the game. There's good athletes, but it's one of the just smartest basketball leagues, and I was right before we got on, we were looking up the leading scorers in the league this year. And one of them is Tyrell Roberts, Ghost Roberts, who played here a few years back. And I was looking up. He looks like he's averaging about 16 a game this year in the Leb Gold. And that kind of just shows you guys, like he was a heck of a scorer in college, and just kind of shows you the level that he was playing at. And it's a really, really competitive league.
Well, we're excited to talk with both guys coming up. We'll let you loose, enjoy some of the food here at the Table Kitchen and Bar, and we'll have you back a little later on as we'll preview those upcoming matchups this week with Pacific and St. Mary's.
Go Cougs.
Again, that is David Riley here on the Cougar Basketball Hour, which is brought to you in part by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill, proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. Up next, we'll have Case Why Not join us. That's all after this timeout. You're listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour here on the Cougar Sports Network.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do lists one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit adamstractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Back at the table, kitchen, and bar here at Palouse Ridge Golf Club, it is the Cougar Basketball Hour, which is brought to you in part tonight by Toyota. The Junior Cougs Kids Club, presented by Toyota, is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. We're excited to welcome in our first of two player guests tonight. Case, why not, Case? It's great to have you here, second year in a row on the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. Happy to be here. Happy to be second year, so yeah.
Well, it's great to catch up, and we'll get into it because you've been sidelined. Only got to play 5 games this year before getting hurt, but we heard Coach Riley singing your praises for what you were doing before that and how well you were playing before you got hurt, and then what you've done since then, where kind of life's handed you lemons and you're making lemonade out of it. Yep. How has just year 2 of the college experience been and just being a part of college basketball at this level?
Well, I'm just kind of really just trying to do what I can. I feel like I've got a lot smarter mentally about the game being out and just like seeing little things here and there that necessarily you wouldn't notice, like not playing, like while playing, and I notice more things while not, and just trying to make the most of what I can do with what I can do.
It sounds like you're doing that. David Riley mentioned the story of the game at the University of San Francisco. You pointed something out, told one of your coaches, and then it was implemented. How is that? And moving up sounds like further up the bench where you're bending the ear of all the coaches?
Yeah, for sure. It's just like a different perspective as like I've played and like know like how like what I see and like what I feel in terms of like stuff we talk about, and just like from a player's perspective, I feel like it's an advantage.
So playing those 5 games, the last game you played in was part of the Maui Invitational against Chaminade. How has that been? That's certainly a curveball, and I'm sure not how you envision the season going heading into the year. How has it been just, dealing with the rehab aspect, dealing with the part of just doing all that you can, which it sounds like that's what you're doing?
I mean, it's been pretty tough. I mean, playing basketball is my favorite thing in the world, so that's been taken away from me. But, just trying to help my teammates as much as I can and be a positive person for them in every aspect of everything we do.
Is this the longest stretch you've been out for in your whole career?
By far, not even close.
And you've had, an incredible career. We sort of touched on it with David Riley, but what you did in high school, multiple times state champion at Lapwai High School, so Idaho native, but certainly not that far away from here, ended up being the Idaho Gatorade Player of the Year, 36 points per game, 13 rebounds per game, 9 assists per game, #1 in Idaho high school history for career points, 2,962. I have it here, and I don't know if we even talked about this last year. If we did, we'll bring it up again. But Coach Riley talking about how he saw you, early on in your career. I have that he was your third offer when he was at Eastern Washington. That
is correct.
That tracks? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so what was your it ended up working out where you originally were committed to Utah State, and then you end up here at WSU, part of that first class that David Riley brought in. We kind of heard his point of view on how it all came together. How did it all come together from your point of view?
Well, it was like pretty similar. He was my third offer, and I ended up picking up some like a little bit bigger offers in Utah State and stuff. And once they got the job here at Pullman, because like Washington State was always like the dream for like me. I always wanted to come here. Like even being from Idaho, I felt like everyone where like I was from was never like they never made it to Wazoo. They only made it to like Idaho. I'm not trying to diss Idaho, but like you know what I mean. So they only made it to Wazoo. I mean, they only made it to Idaho, and then when I got the opportunity to come here, felt like a no-brainer. And just like his system and stuff like that, I always felt like I fit it, and just yeah.
Did you come to WSU games growing up as a kid?
For sure, always. Yep.
What are your favorite memories?
Probably Parker's freshman year. I watched a lot of those games, and that was a great season. So
Parker's shaking his head. You might be making Parker feel a little old by saying that.
I know.
Parker, those are great memories that were made, and I know there will be more to come here for you and everyone else with the program. We're here with Case Why Not here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll have more with Case while Vajay Rodriguez join us coming up, and then David Riley will stop back by a little later on as well. We'd also like to remind you real quick, WSU fans, if you want to support the team just by paying your phone bill, we'll switch to Cougs Mobile today at CougsMobile.com on the T-Mobile 5G network. More after this break. It's the Cougar Basketball Hour right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do list one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State Athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit AdamsTractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
Dear Winter, Toyota can't get enough of you. Because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/25.
Download the WSU Cougars mobile app today, which features the latest news. Plus, it's your way to stream all of our Cougar Sports Network radio broadcasts. Listen to Cougar football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball game broadcast, plus coaches shows, all for free with WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Available now by searching WSU Cougars Game Day in the Apple App Store or Google Play. This is the Cougar Basketball Hour.
Makes the pass, left wing three, takes it, and makes it. Oh, and another big three is needed. It's Reeve Avers who delivers again.
Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar Basketball Hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics.
Tomas Gustafson, one-hand alley-oop play-in.
Once again, back to the table, kitchen, and bar at Palouse Ridge Golf Club in Pullman. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Here we are, rejoined by Case Why Not. We've got a packed show tonight. Not only joined by Case Why Not, Adria Rodriguez will be on with us in our next segment, and David Riley will rejoin us once again as we will preview those two games coming up this week, both at home, the final two home games of the season. Cougs host in Pacific on Wednesday, St. Mary's on Saturday. So we're here with Case Why Not. We were talking during the break how you were a star at Lapwai High School. For AAU, you played down in Boise, and one of your AAU teammates is someone who plays for St. Mary's.
Yep, Liam Campbell. We're pretty close, and it's good to see him doing well this season. So yeah,
basketball is it's a small world, and with that, I'm thinking about your teammates the last couple of years because you've had teammates from every part of the globe. It feels like we got Adria Rodriguez coming up next from Spain. How has it been getting to play with these guys who just bring a different perspective on the world, life, and basketball as well? It feels like everyone has their own different kind of flavor to the game from across the world.
It's been crazy. Like before, like last year, I didn't meet very many people from a different country, and just like so much, how much I've been taught from some of these guys about like how their countries and stuff. It's just been crazy. Like a funny story last year was I asked Ethan Price, who's from England, if they spoke English ever in England. So like that was like my first experience with like. He said no, but and then walked away because it was such a bad question.
Well, you got to experience it firsthand because that was a great part of this offseason for the program is getting to make the international trip, which England was a part of it. And I know Ethan Price, everyone got to catch up with Ethan over there in his home country. Where was the furthest away from home that you had been before that international trip?
Before then, I think probably Georgia. I went to a AAU tournament over there, but other than that, never been too far from this area.
What were the highlights of that experience for you, getting to go over to Europe?
I really enjoyed the games, like just playing basketball. But other than that, just like hanging with my teammates and stuff. I feel like we got way closer as a group that trip.
Anything that stood out as far as just the experience of taking in these different countries that were like, well, it's something that was like, well, this is a lot different, or this was really cool to see?
It just showed me like some things like the air conditioning. I didn't know that wasn't a thing over there, and I was just like, I was thankful when I got back, but just like that's about it, to be honest.
When you get used to air conditioning and then you don't have it, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, goodness. Well, Case, it's great to catch up with you, and it's been awesome to see you on the bench and helping out your teammates. I know it's a bummer that you haven't been able to be out there, but I know you'll be back in action and stronger than ever. Thanks for the time here tonight, and continued best of luck with the rehab, and I know you'll be out there again before we know it.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Again, that is Case Why Not joining us here on the Cougar Basketball Hour tonight. A reminder, one of our sponsors for the Cougar Basketball Hour is Northern Quest. Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. One other reminder, the Inside WSU Athletics podcast comes out every week on Wednesdays. Here straight from WSU Interim Director of Athletics, John Harlow, as the podcast takes fans inside Cougar Athletics, the latest news and information, including interviews with Cougar coaches, student athletes, alumni, and staff every week. Got a new episode coming out this week on Wednesday. That most recent episode, we did a lot of talking about Cougar baseball, which got the season started over the weekend. Big victory on Friday down in Tuscaloosa over Alabama, so you can check that out right now. Again, at the WSU Cougars YouTube page, or download the show and listen on your favorite podcast platform. Just look up Washington State Cougars podcasts. We'll take another break here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. When we come back, Adria Rodriguez will join us. You're listening right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the LSNS Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Look, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but if you're a WSU fan and you haven't switched your phone service to Cougs Mobile, you're leaving points on the field. Here's the deal. You get exclusive game day perks, and Cougs Mobile contributes to WSU Athletics every time you pay your monthly bill. No contracts, no hidden fees, no reason to wait. Switch now to the only phone plan built for Coug fans and on the T-Mobile 5G network. Visit CougsMobile.com.
Hi, I'm Andre Gabriel.
I'm Dara Peters.
And I'm Tasia Sniffen. We're cheerleaders on the WSU Spirit Squad.
Meet Krista Gross, the realtor who supports students like us with NIL sponsorships and resources to help us succeed.
She's dedicated, relentless, and always puts her clients first, just like a true Coug.
With award-winning service and a passion for helping people, Krista is the ultimate coach for home buyers and sellers.
Support her because she supports us. You can find her online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
Go Cougs!
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. We're back here at the Table Kitchen and Bar at Palouse Ridge Golf Club. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour, and we've got the Cougar Basketball Hour debut of Ajay Rodriguez joining us tonight. Thanks for being here. How are you?
I'm really good.
Well,
happy to be here.
It's great to chat with you, and we kind of discussed it during the break, but I posed the question to you. Last year at this time, February 16th, 2025, had you ever heard of WSU before? And
No.
what was your answer?
No, like I was not expecting to come here to States. I was just thinking on playing in Spain, and that's it. I was not thinking to go like anywhere else. So that was weird when I came here. So yeah.
Well, we heard David Riley's perspective on how you became a Coug. Can you tell us how it all went down from your vantage point of how, you know, okay, maybe I'll play in college in the U.S. and then WSU, and how it all came to be?
I mean, being a Coug is really good. Like as D-Ray said, like I think I'm really happy to be here because we have a really good group. Also, the university, like the school, helps a lot. So I think I'm really proud to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, we know there's great basketball played in your home country of Spain. Yeah. Did you grow up always playing basketball? Was there a basketball in your hands as long as you remember?
Yeah, I started playing basketball since I was 6 years old, yeah. Because my parents were playing basketball too, so they invited me to play. I was also doing track and field, but I decided to play basketball.
Did your parents play at a high level basketball?
No, just in the hometown. Yeah.
And then here you are, and what you did in Spain, playing at the level that you did before coming here, and hometown-wise, can you tell us where your hometown is?
Yeah, my hometown is a small city called Sant Just Desvern. It's like close, I would say 5 minutes from Barcelona.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get
with car.
The best of both worlds, where you're close to Barcelona, but it's also you kind of have more of a small town atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Usually with my friends, we used to go to Barcelona with car because it's pretty close, so we can do more plans there. There's more things to do. Like in my hometown is small, so we like to go there. Yeah.
I asked Case this question, but I'm going to ask you it in reverse. I asked him because he's only from about 40, 45 minutes roughly from right here. I asked him when he went to Europe over the offseason, how far did he travel away from home? For you, you're from Spain. Now you're here at WSU. Before coming to WSU, how far had you traveled away from home?
Like, what do you mean? Like, if I go to other cities from Spain?
I just mean, how far away? I mean, had you been to the U.S.? Had you played in the U.S. before?
I came here 2 years ago just to play like NBA Academy. It was like 5-6 games, I would say. So, yeah, it was my first time here.
Okay. So this is a pretty big adjustment, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's a pretty, everything is different. So my family came here, when we had the Christmas break, they were taking pictures from everything because everything was like new. So, yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
Well, we've had a very mild winter overall, but as we look outside right now, it is a little bit of snow. How often, where you're from in Spain and the kind of greater Barcelona area, is it snow often? Is snow pretty novel for you?
No, maybe I see snowing 4 times in all my life. So be here, that's very. It's not common there. So came here. It was in the beginning. I see, okay, I'm enjoying the snow, but now it's it depends. If it starts snowing like the whole week, maybe you have to go to class walking. So it's
That's fair. That's probably most people's reaction during the winter of like, okay, it's great at first.
The first
it's like,
days,
oh, we got to shovel. We got to make sure all that. That makes sense. For you, stylistically, how would you compare basketball in Spain to what it's been like playing here at the Division I level in the U.S.?
I mean, it depends what level do you play in Spain. But I would say in the level that I was playing, it's really high. Maybe it's not that like the players are not that athletics. But I would say it's like kind of same level. Yeah, it's pretty high. Yeah, also I would say the difference is like maybe they think more there. I mean, it depends here on the team, but they play more one-on-one. Maybe that in Spain we don't usually do that. We play more like passing the ball, trying to find the best option. Here, it depends on the team, as I said, but I would say that, yeah.
Well, that makes sense. For you, what's been the highlight of this experience? It can be on the court, off the court. I'm sure you'll look back someday and this is a very fascinating time of your life. What has stood out to you as you've been kind of living it in the middle of it all?
I would say the facilities that they have here. Like, I was the first time that I came here, I was looking at the gym, like everything that they got here, the practice gym, the physios that they got that they can help you, the staff that you got that they are helping you every day. They have like, I don't know, there's like 8 guys in the bench helping you in the practice too. So yeah, I think I would say that, yeah.
Well, that makes sense. For you, when your time college basketball here at WSU comes to an end, what's next? What are you thinking about for that next chapter for you?
Honestly, right now I'm not thinking about that. I'm just focused on the season that we have, just to try to do my best, give my best version to my team. So I'm just thinking on that right now.
That makes total sense. And for you, I mean, that logo right there, that Cougar head logo, that, even though you're from Spain, I'm sure you get Go Cougs a lot of places. How has it been representing WSU and then kind of being embraced as a Coug and learning about how much pride everyone takes in that?
Yeah, right now I'm enjoying a lot, like being part of this family. I think also my friends and my family now is to start following the NCAA because of me, and they're following the school. Like, I would say all the sports, they are looking at the track and field, basketball women's, I don't know, yeah.
And Go Cougs. Are
Cougs.
you gonna continue to kind of carry that banner wherever you might be? Go Cougs. That's
Go
universal.
Cougs. Yeah. Go Cougs.
Well, it is great having you here. It's been fun to see the impact that you've made on the court, and I can't imagine being in your shoes. And for other players who are in a similar spot, that's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to come over here. There's a lot in probably every aspect to just you're kind of a lot to adapt to.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot, and also you don't have like enough months to get adapted too much. But I think like right now, also on the court and out of the court, I think I'm figuring out everything. So that's really nice, yeah.
Well, it's been great to catch up with you here. Continued good luck both on the court and off the court, and it's great having you as a Coug.
Thank you very much.
Again, that is Adria Rodriguez joining us here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. The Cougar Basketball Hour presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every coach's show this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Well, our last 2 guests, you've got 2 more chances to see them at Beasley Coliseum this year. Wednesday night against Pacific, 6:30 tip-off, 7 o'clock start time Saturday. The Cougs hosting St. Mary's. We'll have more on those 2 games coming up as we're rejoined by the head coach, David Riley. That's all after this break. You're listening to Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Cougs, to lead in the new Pac-12, we have to attack this together. Name, image, and likeness, NIL, is essential. It's how our programs recruit, retain, and elevate our student athletes who don the crimson and gray. And now, you can directly support WSU NIL through our Cougar Athletic Fund. A tax-deductible gift to our Sport Excellence Funds powers WSU's NIL efforts, all in one place. Visit WSUCougars.com and select NIL in the drop-down menu to learn more. Go Cougs!
As proud Cougs, we always find our way back home. At McVeigh Brothers, we want to help all Cougs improve the value of your home. Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. The team of professionals at McVeigh Brothers take great pride in helping our customers remodel their homes with new entry doors, rain gutters, siding, roofing, and windows. At McVeigh Brothers, we're working for you.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do list one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit adamstractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
A strong NIL program is fueling a new era for Cougar athletics. WSU is creating opportunities that attract elite talent, keep our stars in Pullman, and unite Cougs everywhere. You can now support NIL through a tax-deductible donation to the Cougar Athletic Fund by joining the Cougar Collective's 1890 Club or by partnering your business with a student athlete through Playfly Max. Together, we're building the foundation for long-term success in the new Pac-12. Go Cougs. Back here at the table, kitchen and bar at Palouse Ridge Golf Club. We're joined by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. Okay, we're looking at what is coming up this week. Only 4 more regular season games left to go. These 2 this week at home. Wednesday night against Pacific, 6:30 start time. Our coverage here on the Cougar Sports Network will begin at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock start time against St. Mary's. There's only 4 more games left to go in the regular season. This is the first and only regular season matchup with Pacific. The Tigers got both games last year. They're having one of their strongest seasons in recent memories. How has it been gearing up for this game Wednesday night with Pacific?
You know, it's a big one. We're right there with them in the standings, and they're playing really good basketball. Coach Smart's done a great job of getting a lot of talent in there. Their administration has really put a lot of emphasis on basketball, and you can tell with the kind of season they're having and kind of guys that got in there.
Elias Ralph, a heck of a player. They played St. Mary's just recently, so we're talking about both of those teams' upcoming opponents for the Cougs. They just played on Saturday. Ralph had 17 points, 12 rebounds. He's a heck of a player for them. It's interesting you mentioned Dave Smart. What a fascinating background for him, a Canadian basketball coaching legend. To some folks, it probably seemed like maybe a little bit of an out-of-the-box hire when Pacific brought him aboard to lead the program. But it's been a strong 2 years, and they were in a pretty tough spot just a handful of years ago where he's got them at the point where they're playing a high level of basketball right now.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, and you know, to go full circle, he was coaching up in Canada, was a legend there, and his first move down to the States was to go down to Texas Tech as an assistant. So he was on staff when EY was there, and so there's good connection there, and he's done a good job with those guys. And they're actually a team, like when we're scouting games for other teams, I always try to watch the Pacific game because I think they try to play the right way. They do a good job of spacing the floor. They really do a good job of being physical, and it should be a great game.
You mentioned before about where Pacific's at in the standings, and this is important for everyone this time of year, and certainly the Cougs just like that as well. 4 more games left to go. The WCC tournament, the bracket, very heavily favors teams that finish higher in the standings. How is it? Do you occasionally peek at it? You just let the chips fall where they fall?
I have learned a long time ago not to worry about any of that and just stay focused on going 1-0. It's a really competitive league that we're in, and if you start trying to count games or figure out how many games you got to win, it doesn't matter. You got to go win the next game, and we've got a couple assistants that'll be able to tell you all the different scenarios. I know Blake, our ops guy, is trying to figure that out with the flights to Vegas and all that, but we just trying to focus on going 1-0.
And then game number 2 this week, St. Mary's. Cougs fell in a very competitive game in Moraga back earlier this season. What will it take in round 2 to beat this program that has been, near the top of the WCC standings and NCAA tournament, either team or contender for so many years? We're talking decade plus now.
Yeah, you know, that St. Mary's has done a great job in retaining guys and having a really veteran team out there that does. I mean, they don't beat themselves. They're the most disciplined team I've ever seen. They're a team I studied for a long time as far as how they play offensively and defensively. Just one of the most disciplined defensive teams that's in the country.
That is St. Mary's, Saturday, 7 o'clock. It is Senior Day. We'll talk to Coach Riley a little more about Senior Day when we come back after this timeout. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. We're here on this snowy night on the Palouse at the Table, Kitchen, and Bar at Palouse Ridge Golf Club. We'll take a break, return after this. You're listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
If we know anything about Cougs fans, it's that a win isn't all you're hungry for on game day. So Northern Quest has a full lineup of restaurants and lounges ready to face any appetite. Cheer on your Cougs with craft beer and cocktails in front of Epic's 10 by 30-foot screen. Grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, or tackle a burger at Fat Burger, you know, before it tackles you. Full menus at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Dear Winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/25.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair? What do you mean? Does it not look good? It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret. No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic. Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
We are back here on the Cougar Basketball Hour, joined by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. We're at the Palouse Ridge Golf Club, the Table, Kitchen, and Bar, and a reminder of what this busy stretch we have on the Cougar Sports Network. So tonight we have the men's basketball version of the Cougar Basketball Hour. Tomorrow night, Steve Grubbs, Cami Etheridge will be here for the women's basketball edition of the Cougar Basketball Hour. The men's basketball team playing at home coming up on Wednesday night against Pacific. The women will be playing on the road on Thursday, and then Saturday, both teams in action. So a lot going on, and we're getting down to that final stretch, that final push of the regular season. Just 4 more regular season games left to go. Then everyone heads down to Las Vegas for the WCC tournament. So here with David Riley, and that means there's only 2 more home games. It is Senior Day on Saturday. What's it going to be like to honor the seniors? We've got Audrey Rodriguez here tonight. Simon Hildebrandt going to be honored. How's it going to be to send those guys off and honor them?
It's going to be a unique senior night. You know, 2 guys that have really done a lot for the program in their 1 year here, and I guess it's the new day of college basketball where we had enjoyed them, and I think they've both brought a great veteran presence and experienced presence in our team. You know, Simon having his stops in Canada, playing in the Canadian Summer League and playing at High Point. Audrey obviously having his career over in Spain. But it's going to be a fun night and a great game.
I know, as you said, it's different now necessarily than maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and that's for everyone across college sports and college basketball. But how is it as a coach to know that you're honoring these guys and you're sending them off in their final game playing at home?
It means a lot. You know, I think those guys have poured their heart into this program, and I think they've embraced Pullman as well. I mean, you guys kind of got to hear Audrey talk about his time here this year, and he's really appreciative of the community and the resources and just being able to go to classes here. And you know, Simon's the same deal. You know, really just embrace Pullman. Had a great time here this summer. Went golfing with Clay Thompson. You'll always see Simon walking around campus, and just two great guys that I think have poured themselves into the school and into Pullman.
And we'll carry that Cougar pride across Manitoba and in Winnipeg. The Hildebrand family, do we know family-wise, I know they've got a longer wait, less for Simon compared to Audria, but as far as family goes, do you know of anyone coming to town for those two guys?
I haven't asked. I know Audrey's family was here, and Simon's family's been out here. I'm not too sure who's all going to be here for the senior night for those two.
I believe Simon's dad, we got a chance to meet him. It was up in Spokane for one of the games. I would think maybe the Oregon State game, and he's a school teacher, so I know it can be a little trickier. Thinking of those guys, to Spain. Did you go to Spain to recruit Audria, or have you been to Spain to recruit before?
I've been a lot. I was actually on my honeymoon in 2018. And was rolling around Spain. I think we were maybe somewhere in northern Spain. We went to Barcelona, and I found out there was a U18 basketball tournament. And I just convinced my wife to go to this town called Zaragoza, about an hour and a half train ride, and stay the night there. And just wanted to kind of see what it was like. And I kind of walked in expecting to see a bunch of guys that looked like Pedro and Audrey that were playing basketball, and it blew me away, the level of basketball. Like Usman Garuba, a couple NBA guys were playing, and the level of athlete and play out there really, really impressed me. And that's where I got to meet Audrey's coach that night. I met Pedro that day, randomly sitting down next to him. And, ever since then, I've been going back almost every year. My best friend from high school, he was living down in San Francisco, and he met a Spanish girl who was an au pair at the time, and so they got married. Now he lives in Spain, so I try to go visit him once a year as well. So I got a lot of ties out to that country, and love going to visit there.
That's fascinating. Is it when you're recruiting, let's say Europe or anywhere in the country or just across the globe, do you know there's going to be certain traits where, okay, I'm getting someone from Spain where these fundamentals I know are going to be strong, or maybe some different part of the globe that's the case?
For sure. I think Spain is known as the country that thinks the game the most. They have a history of having the best coaches. They overachieve in the FIBAs. They're a very tactical country as far as basketball. You can look at like the Eastern European countries like Serbia. You're going to get the toughness. You can kind of go down the list of the different countries, and there's some certain traits that you can typically find in those players. And like Audrey, like his passing ability and the way he sees the game one step ahead, you can see that in the way he's playing.
It truly is a global game. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. It's great being back here for the Cougar Basketball Hour after having no show last week. And here we go. Those final two home games coming up Wednesday and Saturday.
Big final stretch for us. Go Cougs.
Again, a big thanks to not only David Riley, but to all of our guests here tonight, Audria Rodriguez and Case Wynot, to the folks who make it all possible tonight, filling in on the audio side, Matt Kylo doing a great job, Jared Pringruber on the video side, Zane Saggio back in the Cougar Sports Network studios. I'm Chris King, signing off. We'll talk to you next Wednesday. That matchup against Pacific, 6:30 tip-off. 6 o'clock is when our coverage will begin right here on the Cougar Sports Network. You've been tuned in to the Cougar Basketball Hour right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Go Cougs!